Life is just a constant flowing of cycles, right? And it's like, you know how a lot of people tell us to that we should be in the moment. We should focus on the now. You know, I've heard this saying all the time that was like the saying that it's like, what the fuck? How does it go? You can make more money, but you can't make more time, right? And I sitting down thinking about that, and it's 100% true. We think that we have more time, and we do have more time. It's just that the time we have is different than the time we had before. And it's complicated because time isn't like money, where it's like money you can make more of, and you know it's the same thing. If you lost $100 and you made $100, you know no matter what, that $100 is $100. But the time you have today might be different than the time you have tomorrow, because you're going to be a different person. Your interests slowly change because you slowly learn new things. You slowly try and learn and explore, and you find out what works for you. You find out that you're happier doing something new than you were doing something old. You know, it's like as you grow up and you experience life, you tend to realize that life is just moments in time. And it's like each moment is different than the last, but together it all makes up your life. And it's based on your decisions. Like, what are you doing? What do you want to do? And that's what I mean. Like, the thing that you wanted to do when you were 5 is probably not the thing you want to do when you're 25, right? It's just, we're supposed to change and evolve and grow, but we all know some people that just continuously stay the same, that do not change, that haven't evolved at all, that haven't grown at all, that haven't really learned or haven't gone through many experiences, because there are some people that try to avoid bad experiences as much as they can their entire life. And there's a lot of people that say, if you could go back, would you change anything in your past? Or if you could do it all over, would you? And it's like, I don't understand why people ask that question, because I guess it's because they probably avoid pain, and I like to go towards my pain, because when you go towards the pain, you're able to have a perspective, you're able to learn. You're able to learn from the pain. Because if I went back and erased all of my hard times in my life, I wouldn't be the man I am today. I wouldn't be making this video. I guarantee it. I guarantee I'd probably be doing something completely different than what I'm doing right now. And this is because life is a cycle of constant decisions that we make, and the decisions that we make take us down different roads, right? So if you were on a road to be a, if you're on the road, right, to be a fisherman, right, and you catch fish, let's say you catch tuna fish, right, and as funny as it sounds, tuna fish, if you catch a tuna fish, homie, that's like $1 million. So it's like, so you can get a lot of money for big tuna fishes, right? So it's like there are people who set out to go, tuna fishing, and they go fishing for these big, fish, and it's like, my thing is, what happens when they come home from fishing, and they maybe pick up, while they're at fishing, maybe they picked up painting, right, just to pass the time. And it's like maybe they come back and realize they're supposed to be a painter. And then 10 years later, they haven't done that fishing thing since that last trip 10 years ago, and they're like this big famous painter. I guess what I'm saying here, is every moment is based on a decision, and one decision can change your entire life. It could change everything. And I know so many people say this shit, but it's like, I'm sitting here and I've gone through a lot of pain, I've gone through a lot of whatever, and I try to document as many of my struggles, as many as my whatever the fuck I go through in my life as possible, because I'm more focused on documenting than creating content. I just like to talk about, what's on my mind, realistically. And a lot of times what's on my mind is, deep shit, or this type of shit, or Maybe I'm going through some hard times in life, and I'll talk about it with you guys. But it's like, I think that as I look back on my own videos, right? As I just go back a year ago, I can go back 2 years ago, I can go back 3 years ago, I can go back 4 years ago. And as I go back to 4 years ago, when I made a video 4 years ago, it's a different man. Like, that's a different person. That's not even me. I don't know how to explain it. The dude is wearing my skin, right? He has my face. He might have my voice. But he's not me. And this is what I've realized. Is because of the cycles we go through. We don't just go through different things. We don't just experience different things. We become different people. We become, I guess, what we were meant to become. Like, it's exactly like a plant, right? Look at these plants. Some of these plants are smaller than others, and some of them are the same plants, right? But it's like plants, if they, for example, let's say I'm 25, right? I'm 25. I don't know how old you are, but I'm 25. So, 25 years old. If I thought to myself that I'm grown, right? This is who I am. This is just who I am, right? I will be stuck being 25 at 55 years old, because it's like a plant. Plants don't just get stuck, right? They don't just get stuck, growing, they don't just stop right here. It's a smaller plant, but that eventually will become a bigger plant. But they don't just stop right there, and I think that's blue vervain, or white vervain. But they don't just stop right there. The white vervain continues until there's flowers, right? It continues its cycle, because that's the point of life. We're supposed to finish our cycle. Sometimes cycles get cut short, just like sometimes plants get cut short. Sometimes a plant will get cut down before it's able to create seeds, and therefore it didn't spread its genes out into the world. Sometimes humans get cut short. Sometimes humans die, right? Just like plants die. And we all have the same thing. We're all looking to complete our cycle. Some would say it's just a cycle to procreate and basically just have kids, right? And like, I have kids, and I've raised my daughter since she was young. Me and her mom, we co-parent, and we were together. I was a stay-at-home dad when we were together for my daughter's first 2.5 years of her life, and some of the best times of my life. But that's another video for another time. But it's like, as I was just sitting there thinking about how it's like, I've seen my daughter go through cycles, becoming the woman she will be destined to become. I see myself going through cycles, slowly becoming the man I was destined to become. I see myself getting better at making videos. I see myself getting better at making music. I see all these cycles of everything I'm doing, and it's a cycle of a progression. We're progressing towards something. This damn helicopter being loud as fuck. I don't know if you guys see it. Helicopter being loud as fuck. But I guess what I'm just trying to say here is that we go through cycles, and it's a cycle. It's almost like it's a cycle, but it's not necessarily. The cycle doesn't repeat necessarily for you. The cycle repeats for the whole, but for you, you're just part of the cycle. You're not the whole cycle. Meaning, yes, we might be able to die and come back, but you right now, the person I am right now, this meat machine body right now that I have, this skin tone, this face, the way I have my chin hair right here, the way my afro is, maybe I won't be like that in another life. It's like, I might be white, I might be Asian, I might be, born in Africa, not born in America like I am, right? But I just think there's cycles. I don't want to get into reincarnation and all that, but it's like, I do think that's a part of it, because that's a prime example of the cycle of life in general. But we see the cycle of life with plants. That's why I mentioned plants, because it's like, we can see that they grow to create seeds, so the seeds can drop, so then they can, keep the genes going, keep the species going. And I think that's our point as well. But we have a cycle that's like a continuation of like evolution, where we're supposed to go colonize Mars. We're supposed to end up creating 3D printers that can print, food with atoms, so we can literally print food with the out of thin air, right? Out of air. And I feel like that's just the future we're going towards. We're not there yet, because right now we have this moment, and this is like the biggest. So the macrocosm and the microcosm are reflections of each other, and what's going on in the microcosm is you're a child, and you become an adult, and a lot of adults say they want to be kids again, and it's like, because you can't go back to that. Even though you remember, you could be an adult and you could do everything you did as a kid, but it's going to be weird. It's not going to be as nostalgic as you think, or it's not going to be as beautiful as it was when you were a kid, right? Because you're an adult and you have different things in your head. You have different, you're just different. You're not the same person. And it's like, I really think the macrocosm, is basically the same thing, right? Where it's like the human race is right now, and it's like, I guess, almost teenage years. Not really. We're like preteens. The whole human race is like preteens on the scale of the universe, because in the next 1,000 years, not even 1,000, next 100 years, we're going to be fucking so much technology, so much intelligence, so much whatever, that children will probably know quantum physics just because they have an AI that teaches them this at like 5 years old or something. Who knows? But I can just see that humans are going to get smarter in general. I can see that everything's going to change and evolve, and I think that that's because we're in a cycle of progression as well. The whole is. But it's just, we all individually need to go through our cycles to become better people, to grow, to learn. So what we learn by the end of our life can help the whole cycle, because that's what this is. The universe is literally gaining knowledge from itself by going through experience, by going through itself. It's learning about itself by going through itself. It's learning about itself by going through these cycles of progression, and billions of human beings, probably trillions, fucking since the beginning of time, right, have existed. And it's like trillions on another level. There's no number to explain how many humans have walked on this earth, right? But it's like, what I'm sitting here trying to say is all those humans that went through their experiences in life, all those humans that continued the progression, learned from a baby and continued learning into the day they died, that knowledge gets kind of stored in the whole's perspective, and it helps the whole also reach towards the progression and reach towards the thing it was trying to be the whole time, because we're going towards something, and the thing we're going towards is our, for lack of a better word, our perfect self. Even though right now there's no such thing as perfect, and there probably never will be, but we're going towards our perfect self. Like how plants try to reach a perfect phi. We are going towards a perfect phi in a whole perspective, and we're attempting to, but then we'll probably get out of phi as well, and then we'll probably go back to it, and then it's like a cycle. It's a pattern. It's an algorithm. The universe is set on an algorithm. Reality in general is set on an algorithm. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. This whole damn video, that's what I'm trying to say. That our reality is based on a bunch of algorithms created by the universe to keep life moving, learning. Like, I feel like the point of this universe right here, this 3D dimensional space, is to learn, explore, and have fun, right? I think that's the point. And, be in the moment. Because, like I said, today will be over. And when today's over, even if you watch the same video again, or even if you watch one of my videos tomorrow, or if you watch another video, right? If you did the same exact thing you did today, it wouldn't be the same, because you're a different person. You've learned different things. You've done different things today. Which those different things you've done today will make you a different person tomorrow. And compile that over a year, and then you are a completely different person. And that's It's just the progression of life. We're constantly changing to become the old, decrepit humans that we're meant to be. Realistically, by the time our bodies are so old that we can't really, let's say when my body's old enough where it can't run anymore, right? Because I jog, that's why I'm down here, right? Every time I make a video, it's because I go on a jog every day. So it's like, but when I can't do that anymore, my mind will still be growing. My mind will still be evolving. You always have a progression of life, and you always learn from the hard times, or you continuously go through the hard times until you learn from it. But it's just my experience, right? I wouldn't change anything for the world, because everything I've gone through has put me right here.